Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you can tell, I am like a lot peppier than normal because I have been able to eat. The cut is officially over, and I celebrated last night with a frozen pizza and glass of bourbon. Thank heavens. Today, I have two transformations to show you. Firstly, let's get into the transformation that I'm sure everybody is a lot more interested in. My bathroom. Earlier this summer, it was like the end of May, whatever, I found, well, technically my wife found a leak in the ceiling of my bathroom. So long story short, I had to have the plumbers come in, and we just had them replace all the copper piping in the house. And because of that, they took off a good portion of the ceiling and a good portion of the wall behind the toilet to access everything. And I had the lovely fun duty all summer of taking off the wallpaper, sanding down the walls, redoing all the drywall, sanding things down, repainting, and reinstalling the toilet and vanity and all of that. Here's a picture of what the bathroom looked like before any problems happened. As you can see, that the previous owners had wallpaper up. Above the toilet was a fan, which is stupid because it was a half bath, and like the fan really helps with steam. It doesn't really help with odor. So, and then I didn't really like the vanity. I didn't like the cheap mirror. I didn't like the vanity lighting. Here's a picture of kind of the middle of demolition. I think the wall is out. The wallpaper is already down. The floorboards are taken away. The toilet is gone, etc. Pretty drastic change. As a part of redoing the ceiling above the toilet, I took out the fan, got rid of the venting, plugged the hole to the outside of the house and all of that happiness, and I reran the electricity, and I installed a nice light above the toilet. And then we finished the drywall. I painted everything, and here is what it looks like. To prepare you, I am much more than just a gym bro meathead, right? I am a hardcore nerd. I've loved reading books my entire life. I love sci-fi fantasy stuff, so I gave my bathroom a little bit of a theme. So first of all, the bathroom is now the room of requirement. You can see that it is a nice green color. I put in new lighting. We got a new mirror, a nice vanity that I'm still working out some kinks with the plumbing, so I have towel down to catch any drips. There's the toilet, walls, new light, which I like. And then we have the artwork. Here's the map to the Wheel of Time, Middle Earth, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Narnia. I love this bathroom. It's not completely finished. I have one small drip leak under the vanity that I'm fixing, and then we want, this was our initial plan with the artwork. So because of this, we found a couple of things that we want to add. So if I close the door, we have the room of requirement on the outside from Harry Potter. Here on the inside, I want to put a sign that says mischief managed. I think that's absolutely hysterical. And then we have all of this blank wall behind the toilet. And I'm actually on the internet shopping for shelves. I want like 3 floating shelves here. But the baseboards are repainted. I repainted the door and the trim. It is much nicer. So that's transformation number 1. Let's get into transformation number 2, me. So I have like 2 transformations. It started back in January of this year. I had to go get my biometric screening done for work because #health insurance. And essentially what I found is that my cholesterol levels had just skyrocketed. It was one of those concepts where if like 100 is the number you kind of want to be at, my number was like 165. And I know exactly why this happened, right? I was trying to gain weight in bulk the second half of last year hard, and I was eating macaroni and cheese like out the wazoo, and like not the good kind. And I was having fatty steaks, and I was just trying to put on the mass, right? I was like 226 and a half pounds, something like that. My resting heart rate was in the 70s. It's usually in the 50s, low 60s. And so I was just like, you know what? I've taken it far enough. It's time to lose some weight. Here's a picture of me in the January time frame. I think I'm wearing a tux, so I don't look that bad because black is so slimming. I didn't take any progress pictures here, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, from mid-January until like the beginning of May, mid-May, something like that, I went from 226 and change down to like 200 even. Here's a picture of me in April when I went on a wedding anniversary trip with my wife. I just sort of look puffy, like a little Michelin Manny, right? I was probably around 215 here, 210, something like that. And then here's a picture of me at the Cincinnati Reds versus the Boston Red Sox game in the beginning of June, where I was about 200 pounds. Still a little puffy looking, but markedly thinner looking than the previous pictures. So I lost the like 26 and a half pounds in the first quarter of this year, and my body was pretty tired. So I made the decision that I wasn't going to diet through the summer, even though I was nowhere near my goal weight. This summer, I just sort of treaded water. I think I oscillated between 201 and 206, depending upon what I was eating, if I was doing cardio, how much movement I was getting in, what I was training that day, etc. Then, that's where this YouTube series came in. I wanted to actually try to get lean. So my thought was, let's get down to 186 and change. So then from the beginning of the year, it's a 40-pound difference, and then from the beginning of the cut, it'll be a 15-pound difference because I weighed myself at the end of September. It was like 201 point something. And here is that transformation difference. Even at 201, I was still really puffy, if you can tell. I was still really puffy. I think I've held on to my muscle really, really well. I feel like my legs and my back are the same amount of proportion to the rest of my body, which were the 2 places where I was trying to grow muscle aggressively the last couple years. I feel like most of that 14 pounds came out of my midsection, out of my waistline, and I'm really proud of that. I lost a lot of fullness, but all of my before and after pictures are like after fasted cardio. I'm very depleted, dehydrated, etc. But I'm pretty pleased with the result. You can see some of my intercostals there on my lats. There's a lot of good definition in my back. My legs don't have a lot of definition in these pictures because it happens right after cardio when they have like a quasi cardio pump. But also, I'm very white in all of these pictures, and just there's not a lot of definition because you're so pale. But I'm relatively happy with the result here. So I fell like 0.8, 0.75 pounds short of my 186 and change goal. Got to the point where I was just tired. It's one of those things where, yes, I had a goal, but my quality of life was going down, right? When you're not eating that much, your sleep is bullshit. And I could see in a lot of my progress pictures and just day to day that I was starting to look puffy. And I don't know how you look puffy when you're supposedly depleted and not eating. And the only thing I can think of is that it was water retention, because I was so stressed out, like physically stressed out. From the low diet, the lack of sleep, the lack of muscular recovery, I think it was just time to call it good. I know that it's only been 45 days of this YouTube series and the Instagram posts, but I've also essentially been dieting since the beginning of the year, and it's been 10 months now. So I made the decision that it's time to eat. It is time to eat. Point being, I called it. I was happy being 3/4 of a pound short of my original goal. I have not been this lean since 2019. What would I do differently? I think, I don't know if I would do anything differently per se, but I would have started things differently. And I think this comes down to the fact that I did a hard cut for the first 4 months of this year. And then I didn't ramp my metabolism back up. I just sort of existed. When I started this 45-day cut, I was already in a pretty good calorie deficit. Things got pretty extreme pretty quickly, and I think if I was going to do it again, I would probably take some time to ramp up my metabolism first, so that I had more food to play with. So how do you come out of a dieting phase like this? The last thing you should do is just start eating. My approach is I stop weighing my food. I stop that. There's only a couple of things that I'll weigh, and those are liquids because it's a little bit harder to eyeball. The point is, eat exactly what you were eating, but up the portions. Instead of having 60 grams of cottage cheese, I'm gonna have an entire serving of 110 grams of cottage cheese. And instead of having 2 cocktail tomatoes, I'm gonna have 4 cocktail tomatoes. Instead of having like 130 grams of cooked rice, I'm gonna have 175 grams of cooked rice. The portions are larger. I feel more satiated. Keep on your diet, keep on your plan, and just change your portion sizes so that you feel a little more satiated throughout. And finally, give yourself a break. Like, give yourself a reward every week, every 5 days, whatever. If you want to have like a little bit of a date night, cheat meal type of thing on like Thursday, and then another one on like Saturday, like, feel free. If you want to have a glass of bourbon, feel free. The point is that you're going to do like a 90-10 rule where 90% of your meals are on point, they're good, your body can handle them, and then 10% are, you're just going to fit it in. The other thing that you need to keep in mind when you're doing it this way, make sure you're still waking up, doing some form of cardio. It doesn't have to necessarily be as intense as it was, but wake up and move the food around. Make sure you go to the gym, keep your intensity up. It'll probably increase on its own because you've got food in your system, but don't just go back to, I'm gonna eat whatever, because your body won't necessarily know how to handle it. And the idea is to give it more fuel and make the metabolism start running faster, not to overwhelm your system, have it slow down, and for you to put the fat on quickly. What is next for me? Well, for now, I am taking a 4 or 5 day break from the gym. I'm going to eat in my reverse diet mode that I just sort of explained, and I'm going to let my body have a rest. After that, we're gonna get into a new split. I love my legs, I love my back. I want them to both to be bigger, but I love their shape and I love their definition. So we're definitely gonna keep a heavy ass back day, and we're gonna keep my heavy ass leg day in the mix. After losing all this weight, my shoulders feel better. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't able to do overhead press for like 2 years. And now here at the end of this cut, overhead pressing feels awesome. So somehow I fixed my right shoulder. So I want better shoulders, because my shoulders have definitely atrophied over the last couple of years of not being able to train them very well. So That's point one. Point two is something that everybody is going to say, I need bigger arms. I need more arms. Point three, my chest is definitely a lagging body part. I think I have pretty good upper chest-ish for what it is. I'm really pale, so it's kind of hard to see some of this, but I can see it in the mirror. My lower pecs are like gone. It's like I dieted them off, like they were just excess fat or something and it all came up. So I need to incorporate more flat pressing, more dips, more whatever. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking about doing a shoulders and chest day. I'm thinking about doing a back day. I'm thinking about doing legs, and I'm thinking about doing shoulders and arms together. Maybe more emphasis on arms and less emphasis on shoulders, since I'm already putting shoulders with chest. What I have not considered yet is where calves go into that equation, because I've enjoyed training them not on leg day, and where abs go, because genetically I don't have deeply separated abs. You don't see the blocky abs. I look much better when I pull a vacuum. So I want to weight train my abs to see if I can build those up and get the blockier abs. I might do abs on back day so that it's almost like I'm training my entire core at once. And then I might start my arm and shoulder day with abs. We'll kind of see how that goes. And then I'll have to piece all of those things together. In terms of physique goals, I've always had the goal of being 200 pounds lean with abs. The plan is probably to push the weight back to like 210, something like that. But we're gonna try to do it in a better way. Last time I was eating fatty steaks, I was eating like Velveeta mac and cheese, ramen. Like I was just going all out on the easily prepackaged, high carb, high fat foods. This time I'm going to continue with the bulk oatmeal and the bulk rice. It'll be a fun journey to push the weight up. So, in my new bathroom, I want to sign off this video. I want to thank all of you for coming along on my my 45-day fat loss journey, and for coming along with me doing my chores outdoors, working on this bathroom. I'm planning on working on the bathroom upstairs. It just needs repainted. The guest room upstairs definitely needs repainted. And I have a sunroom, which is currently my construction staging area, but I also want to repaint it and hang a ceiling fan instead of the light fixture that the previous owners had. So there'll be plenty more DIY things that I'll feature in my weekly blogs. But thank you so much for coming along on this journey. I'm looking forward to growing my chest, growing my shoulders, growing my arms, and keeping my legs and back strong points. And we'll see how big we can get. Leave me a comment, like this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, because it's gonna be a journey for just a regular guy doing regular things, no drugs. Just, I hope you will follow along. The Cut Fall 2024 has come to an end, and I appreciate you being here. Until next time, cheers.